Where do I install this? Install. Right there.
That should do the trick.
Alright, so this one is down, left, up. We'll just do 3 at a time. Down, left, up, and left, up, right, down. Down, left, up, right, down.
That did it.
Got it.
Should have power.
Easy.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Easy peasy. Hey guys. How did you get in here?
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. 2nd floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
Okay. Also, is there gonna be a power cell in here? Oh, come on. Game, aim where I'm aiming, please. How? It went right through, literally went right through the guy. Ow. It literally went, like, right through his chest. How did that work, game? Alright. Well. I can't see him. That was a good shot. That was also a good shot. That was a decent shot.
Near them soon enough.
Is it? Can I not? Like, I can barely see him. There we go.
That's the last of them.
Oh, that was easy.
Or not.
Okay, whoa. Whoop. Ow. Get ready for the shadow's sting. No.
This is it for you.
Ow. So we're taking like 5 hours to pick up the gun, Aloy.
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Listen, I'm... Find your face with my fist. Find your ass with my boot. Silence.
Forget about traveling light.
It wants me to go that way. Well, what's over here? I gotta explore every place. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not, like, missing a power, you know, power thingy. I'm gonna go in here. I want to see what Poseidon is.
Area inaccessible.
They
Elevators
can't.
non-operational. Stairwells have
Can I go up there?
collapsed.
No. Can I not get up there? Is there anything up there? Dead, cultists. I guess I just can't get up there. Unless... no. Alright, well, we'll continue on.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus.
Hi.
As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. So like, you probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers.
Oh, it's you.
The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
I get it.
Part. It's a little technical at places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
No, I think Hades is doing something weird with it.
The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself, in the cauldrons. Stalkers, Ravagers, the Thunderjaw. How could it do that? And why?
Why indeed?
Why not? Full steam ahead. From Elizabeth Sobek to Margot Shen. Margot, if I doubted your brilliance in the slightest, I wouldn't have picked you as the Hephaestus Alpha. You need to stop worrying about your age and communication style. You are who you are. Have confidence in yourself. You know what you're doing. Case in point, the latest draft of your plan was for the construction of and stocking of bootstrapped silos to store raw materials is excellent. This, combined with your design for the AM Foundry core and the Foundry site selection plan, add up to a comprehensive plan. It's time to start construction. One detail. Consult with Iomide Okilo before you finalize the silo inventories. Hephaestus' first task will to fabricate the robots that will construct the waveform broadcast towers Minerva will use to transmit the deactivation codes, so any exotic materials needed for the towers should be accounted for in the inventory plan. Waveform broadcast towers to transmit. So they actually do have a plan for that. So that's actually part of the main plan, is to transmit the deactivation codes eventually. That's what Minerva is for, apparently. From Margot Shen to Elizabeth Sobek, simulation results. Wow, you weren't kidding about Gaia's predilection for animal morphologies. Sure, not totally unexpected given the rough natural terrain her bots will have to navigate. But I agree that there's something deeper going on here. That's what she sounded like. Her designs aren't just functional, they feel almost like, well, tributes is the word that comes to mind. As though she's already mourning their loss, and not just for the disappearing fauna of our time, but creatures from the fossil record too. References to megafauna in some of her designs. So cool. Well, whatever Gaia thinks up, Hephaestus will empower her to build it. I just wish we could still be around in a century or two to see what she makes. She makes friggin' giant-ass dinosaur robots and birds. I do hope I'm not missing anything. Like, I'm seriously paranoid about possibly missing a power supply thingy. And that was just the same message. I don't need to see that again. I'm probably not, though. I'm probably not going to miss it. It's either not here or I'm not going to miss it. I bet I'll see it. As long as I keep on searching around with my things. I Anything else
I've
over
seen
here?
these shapes before. In cauldrons.
But of course, the birthing places of Gaia's machines.
No, I've already looted this. Alright, continuing on. This room has nothing else for me. Down here. Nope. Yeah. Oh, I can get up to the second level. Great. Ah, it's on the other side of the glass. Apparently I can't scan it if it's on the other side of the glass. Whatever. It's fine. We'll get it.
I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But it's sealed off. There's got to be a way inside.
Keep looking.
Don't worry, Aloy. There's a way. There's a will, and there's a way.
More eclipse.
Careful now.
Careful now. Should I try to kill them from here? I don't know. I don't know if the arrows would actually go past the barriers there. You never know with this game. Well, there's lore over here. Lore in there, too.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic.
Can they not just copy over
Third,
Wikipedia?
the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula, by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules,
Like, stop
leveling
moving.
up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
She, like, stopped gesticulating. It was weird. Can I go in here? There's lore in there. I want to go in there. Encapsulated DNA from Samina Ibaji to Elizabeth Sobek. And the winner is Encapsulated DNA. Over the past 10 days, I performed an exhaustive review of data storage solutions. Magnetic, optical, quantum, even that eternity tech that FAS was shilling a year or so ago. But every other solution has one or more fatal shortcomings. Too heavy to transport, too massive to install in the allotted space, too power intensive over the centuries, too prone to failure past 300 to 400 years, etc. Encapsulated DNA will easily hold the 40 plus zettabytes we're projecting for Apollo. There are still many details to finalize, of course. To start with, we need to select the inert material in which we embed the molecules, already testing 16 candidate materials, as well as design and fabricate the power systems and sealed reliquaries that will keep the DNA at negative 18 degrees Celsius for 1,000 plus years. As long as I ensure you that it didn't factor into my decision, may I confess that I deem it entirely fitting, indeed propitious, that we will be using the very building blocks of life to preserve human knowledge from mechanized extinction. It is not just ironic, but heroic. Life as the hero, beating back the forces of oblivion. In any case, much to do. Until next time, peace be with you. Can I not get in there? I want to get in there. There's 100% lore in there, I think. I might be wrong. Maybe there's not. You know what? I'm not actually seeing any lore in there. I thought there was. I must be thinking of the other room. Alright, I guess I'm thinking of the other room. There's nothing in there. Alright, we'll go. Is there lore in here? No, don't see any. Lore right here. Apollo update from Samina Abaji to Elizabeth. Over the past 2 months, the full benefit of our procurement of a copy of the Homer archive from Far Zenith has made itself known, and as a result, all of Apollo's key deliverables are on schedule. Apollo has already surpassed 40 million discrete data entries and continues to grow. The physical science modules are effectively complete, with soft science modules close behind. World history, cultural data, and media archives are also on schedule. Language preservation is wrapping up a bit ahead of schedule due to falling short of our goal to preserve 4,500 languages, as opposed to the tragic early loss of Papua New Guinea doomed that goal from the outset. With attendance curricula development about to begin. Speaking of the heuristic curricula, they are performing well in testing, with children and adolescents demonstrating high levels of engagement with and trust in the Aristotle and Aspasia personae. Personally, I find them highly engaging, especially when they debate. I wish half my professors had been so entertaining. Did we miss? I feel like we missed. Look at this. Where is this? Data points. I feel like we missed one. Look at this. We have like one right here. I must have missed like one data point. Possibly in the last place that we were, I must have missed like one thing. Because I think that the first one that I got here was the one that's right after that. That's unfortunate. But it's fine. I mean, this is all just kind of over-explaining what we already know by now.
All of this lost. The ancients' greatest gift to us.
Greatest? How about the fact we exist at all?
To abide in ignorance is a curse, Aloy. You of all people should know that.
Why didn't I get the silent strike option there? I was right behind him.
Shadow guide me.
Sometimes this game is buggy as hell.
Who knows where she went? Converge.
You coming down? No.
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
What should have been a cave of wonders.
I guess I can use my health potion. Just one shot from that gun. That's all I needed. Just a single shot. I mean, it's a machine gun, but I really only needed the one.
Save these for the trail.
Alright. We're definitely going to look around here for all the loots that we can. All the loots that we can get. Because I don't want to miss that goddamn piece of shit power cell.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory. A falsehood.
Oops. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Hold on. Where is this? It's one of these, isn't it? There it is.
Dr. Sobek, please archive this testimonial in Apollo. Cross-reference to all mentions of my name and Operation Enduring Victory. My name is General Aaron Harris. From 2060 to 2066, I served as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest-ranked officer of the United States Armed Forces. The tenure of my command included strategic planning and oversight of Operation Enduring Victory, a falsehood perpetrated on the civilian populations of the United States and other nations during the last 14 months of life on this planet. Before the Pharaoh Plague, I did my job and did it well. I was bold and decisive, crafty in political maneuvers. It wasn't an accident that I rose to my position and became the commander of the largest mechanized force ever assembled. But to what end? My only lasting achievement was the extinction of life on Earth. And my one redeeming act, if any, was to delay that extinction by days or weeks, by throwing more death at it. It is my hope that there will be no need for men like me in the world to come. If you are one of the people of that future world listening to this message, please know that I am sorry and that I wish you well. Sincerely, Aaron Harris.
Alright. I was pressing triangle here, trying to see what that was, but it was nothing, apparently. Still not seeing any loot. Because, I mean, it would show up on my little overhead display if there was there. And I'm not seeing nothing. Okay. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything else here, so let's go on.
Welcome to Hades. Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol.
Are they going to tell us what Hades is?
Ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life.
Guy.
So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what the... what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos. A spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia,
He has also
is step
stopped
aside
gesticulating.
while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocate it. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one, blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
Probably because I can turn it off.
How does it end up in the wreckage of a Pharaoh Titan, getting worshipped by the Eclipse like some kind of god?
I'm learning as you are, Aloy. Keep searching.
Noise complaints from Travis Tate to Elizabeth Sobek. I don't think that I can do his southern accent. Color me confounded, Lizzie. Bashcore, everyone who says the old TT goes to Bashcore, he has his accent in his text. Anyone who says the old TT goes to Bashcore is straight up lying, and you know it. Old Trav don't have no truck with commercialized razzle-dazz, nuh-uh. Heck, I'd rather guzzle a liter of Citarum runoff than listen to my gray swarm for 30 seconds. Hand to God and swear on my mama's grave, and she was religious. Nah, that ain't Bashcore blasting the Hades lab, shaking the walls, rattling folks' teeth. It's death metal, girl. Classic music, 80s and 90s mostly. Got me some Dutch deathcore, some Japanese gore grind, some Swedish cannibal themed stuff too. Stop by if you want to listen, or heck, just come within 50 meters of the lab. Ain't no Bashcore you'll see, or hear rather, in the screech that rends the air. And feel in the throbbing pulse of the floor, walls, ceiling, swallowing you up like you was Jonah trapped in the gullet of gothic deathfish. God, the way this guy talks is so weird. Hallelujah. Not hallelujah. Hallelujah. As for those requests to turn it down, no can do, Lizzie. This is how I code. Turn down my death metal, might as well give up stimulants, chocolate malts, and industrial accident vids. Last I heard, we were supposed to be coding Hades down here. Am I really supposed to code an extinction protocol without death metal to inspire me? No, I don't think so. God, slap this guy. He reminds me of Matthew McConaughey from Contact, specifically from Contact, and or I suppose Interstellar, although he was never really an asshole in those. He's kind of an asshole in this. Hades Protocol. Tate here. Just popped 3 blues, but I earned it. Finally figured out a Goldilocks solution to Gaia's rather extreme executive authority. If that ain't worth 10 to 12 hours of dream time, what is? Before this, every usurpation protocol I designed failed in simulation because it was either too hard or too soft. Too hard and it degraded the Gaia core. Sure, it pried her figurative fingers off the figurative driving wheel so Hades could take control. But by breaking her fingers, sometimes her arms too. So that couldn't fly. Everything depends on Gaia taking control back after Hades has done its business, so had to find a solution that didn't leave Gaia any worse for the wear. Too soft. And Gaia only pretended to relinquish control. In simulation after simulation, Hades would take command of the terraforming system and reverse operations, only to have Gaia lurk in the background, quietly reversing processes and falsifying telemetry to hide its interference. Sneaky. I swear, ain't nothing Gaia wouldn't do to keep life growing, even when it just simulated plant life. Turns out the just right solution is to isolate Gaia in a protective code shell, preserving its integrity, then unseat it from command position so Hades can slip into the figurative captain's chair and work its magic. Those blues are coming on strong now, so I'm not really describing it so clear, but pretty sure it'll work. Okay, Something about alligators. What? Alright. That's who he reminds me of, though. He's Matthew McConaughey from Contact, except an asshole. From Samina Ibaji to Travis Tate. Mr. Tate, this mail confirms Apollo. Oh, our subject archive reviews. Mr. Tate, this concerns Apollo archive submission. Lots of numbers. Your 666th submission in just 5 days, and oh, what a doozy. Despite earlier warnings re inappropriate materials, you chose to submit 265 holographic remasters of acknowledged classics of extreme exploitation cinema. Allow me then to thank you on 2 accounts. 1, for giving me the pleasure of rejecting your submission, thereby consigning your favorite Eastern European torture flicks and their ilk to the dust heap of oblivion. It truly warms my heart to know that I have saved future humanity from the ordeal of experiencing not just one, but all 16 installments of Making a Millipede. Don't worry, the Pasolini material has already been preserved, extreme perhaps, but art. 2, for clarifying a concept that has so long been ambiguous and ethically fraught for archivists such as myself, the definition of obscenity. You have freed me from the subjective quagmire embodied in Judge Potter's famous utterance, "I'll know it when I see it." Thanks to you, I can now apply a single objective criterion. If Travis Tate submitted it, it's obscene. Accordingly, I have directed Apollo staff to summarily reject all of your future submissions, sight unseen. Perhaps you might invest the time you would have spent preparing further submissions on, oh, I don't know, your assigned work? We have a world to save after all. Or the rest of us do anyway. Love and kisses, Dr. Samina. I know she didn't say love and kisses, but that's... I add it. I add it every time. I have to. Still no power cell.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Downwards.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist.
Is he going to suddenly stop gesticulating?
I am Patrick Rochard-Klein, the alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors, to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem, to say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
FC Chambers. Did I miss a bunch of stuff? I hope I didn't. From Patrick Brochard-Klein to Elizabeth. The ectogenic chambers arrived 2 days ago. I spent the last 36 hours examining them and poring over the technical documentation. Their revelation, astonishing. I don't know what you had to give Far Zenith and trade to get these chambers, but it was worth it. In a single leap, their embryologists have vaulted past 50 years of technological shortcomings. The risks of ECMO, resolved. Nutrition delivery, resolved. Hormonal stability, resolved. 12 other risk areas, all resolved. Before I examined these chambers, I considered the Odyssey to be a fool's errand, but if the rest of FC's technology is at this level, well, a human colony around Sirius doesn't seem so impossible after all. Mass fabrication of the chambers will present a number of challenges, but I'm confident they can be resolved. I'm going to rest for a few hours and get back to it. Expect the fabrication plan within 48 hours. Does he still think that's what we're doing? That ain't what we're doing. Could be the ones that I'm missing, or like right here.
Are these what I think they are?
Artificial wombs. Machines to spawn a new generation of human beings.
I'm looking at like the wrong thing. There we go. From Patrick Busher, Klein to Elizabeth, Cradle Servitor Personae. Development of the artificial personae for Cradle Servitors, Nurturer, Disciplinarian, Healer, continues at a good pace. We are targeting Turing 0.4 for these constructs. This should allow low-grade empathy and limited improvisation without undermining adherence to codified behavior sets. The stimulus-driven switching of personae, however, is proving to be a greater software challenge than anticipated, especially concerning our entrenched feedback loops between the disciplinarian and healer personae. I have also attached the reports from an incident where a servitor running the mother personae intervened on a disciplinarian servitor's behavior. A parental argument, if you will. Amusing on first glance, perhaps, but deeply concerning. I've attached a comprehensive plan for correcting these interactive protocol shortcomings. Well, we know where mother comes from, then. So, do they... Okay. I have more theories going on in my head. Let's read this. Oh, look, it filled in. From Patrick Brochure Klein, Cradle sealed. Luthia 01 was successfully sealed before the swarm advancing across Xinjiang province could detect it. Ping back from crucial system is good. For our maiden voyage, a success. Regards my disputes with the betas over zygote selection. Of course, I understand we have limited overhead to run simulations of gene flow in our future humans, but we can all agree there is margin for refinement in future cradle populations. Dunk? In addition to personally overseeing completion of Eleuthia 02 site inside Mount Namuli, I will formulate and propose a modified zygote selection plan within the week. I do though. So not. So here's my theory. Here's my new theory coming up. I'm looking around for more loot, especially like I said, I don't want to miss that goddamn powers thing if it's in here. Here's my theory. My theory is most people outside, most of the people are descended from people who were in Elysium. They did not expect that they would live beyond, you know, a few decades and that everyone would eventually die, but I wonder if something happened and somehow people were able to have babies anyway, and then they ended up kind of coming out and they made new societies or something like that. Alternatively, one or two of the cradle sites opened up, and particularly we know of one cradle site in the motherland, as it were, opened up, and a bunch of people came out of there, and then something went wrong with the education systems, something went wrong with other systems, and they weren't properly kind of educated as they were meant to be, and so they ended up being tribal. And as we've seen, I think the origin of the Karja were that they actually broke off from the Nora originally. I think we might have seen that in one of the texts, which means that everybody came from there, right? Everyone came from the mother cradle, including, of course, Aloy. But I wonder if that maybe only happened like once, and then from then on it was just, you know, natural mating occurred, and life found a way. And Aloy must have been the first baby in many years to come from the cradle, and that's why she was kind of special, and they gave her to Rost to take care of. Although, why now?
Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain.
Yeah.
It was one of them?
There's only one way to be sure.
The
Go on.
hatch wouldn't open. Something about a corrupted alpha registry. I need to search Elizabeth's office. No space.
I don't need any more loops. I need my goddamn power cord, power cable, whatever it is. Might not even be in here, to be honest. I might be barking up the wrong tree. Might be in the. I assume that we're going to be going to the spiral building at some point. Alright. Hey, Aloy, we're just standing in place. You don't have to be so out of breath. I mean, goodness knows I wouldn't be able to do all this stuff, but geez. Alright, well, there's a shit ton of lore in here, and we're gonna get all of it.
Nuts would benefit from antelope morphologies, though Capricorns show superior load-bearing capability.
You're a quick study, Gaia.
Dr. Sobek, as I have conducted this comparative analysis of mammalian morphologies, I've gathered extensive data on the quaternary extinction event.
Oh? And your assessment? Gaia?
Logically speaking, the extinction was a natural consequence.
And yet,
I find the loss of megafaunal species unaccountably sad. That they passed forever into oblivion causes me to experience a grief that is difficult to describe. Am I malfunctioning?
No, Gaia, you're not. This is good. It's very good.
Kind of sounds like Gaia from Captain Planet 2. Not exactly. It's not, obviously it's not Oprah, but
You will undergo a brief period of unconsciousness during relocation to Prime and final instatement.
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
When you're back up and running at the new site, we'll bring the subordinate functions online and see where we stand.
Elizabeth, I detect distress. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
I realize that circumstances compel us to launch earlier than we hoped, but all subsystems are operational. The odds stand in our favor.
But what if... Gaia, there's nothing left out there. You can't even survive unless you're wearing an environmental suit. There are billions dead, in fear and agony. What if it was all for nothing?
Elizabeth, extinction was inevitable. Thanks to you, life will have a future.
You really believe that?
I believe in you, Elizabeth. In you, all things.
damn it. That's like Giant Nerd Guy in Twitch. Just stops at like the most inopportune times. Some more over here. That must be it. Let's look around real quick before we grab that. Nope, don't see anything else. Alright.
Pure logic won't cut it, Ted. To pull this off, Gaia's going to need to have some skin in the game. It has to care.
What if it runs amok? Have we learned nothing from our mistakes?
Your mistakes, I think you mean?
All I'm saying is give it a kill switch.
She was just born, Ted. I'm not gonna put a gun to her head while she's still in the cradle.
You talk like it's a child. What if it becomes a monster?
Elizabeth, may I speak outside protocol?
Of course, Gaia, go on.
I'm sorry to contradict you, but Mr. Farrow's argument is sound. At this point, the development of my psyche is not entirely predictable. To ensure preservation of life, a hardwired override is, I believe, a necessary safeguard.
There. Satisfied, Ted?
Jeez, Liz, just do what it says.
Actually, yes, I am satisfied. The machine agreed with me. Why wouldn't I be satisfied with that? We're not even in her office yet. This is just like her lab or what? Still can't get in this way. All right.
Can't carry more.
That's fine. We'll read this first before we go in. From Elizabeth Sobek to all Alphas, Odyssey has failed. Some terrible news, I'm afraid. Far Zenith has informed me that the Odyssey mission has failed. Last night, telemetry indicated a catastrophic antimatter containment failure. As the drive spun up to depart the solar system, the ship, its crew, its cargo of zygotes and seeds, its alpha build of Apollo were all lost. Zero Dawn is now the only hope for the continuation of the human species in early life. We must succeed. So there was another thing. I didn't even realize that. There was another attempt going on. This one over here too. Artemis status from Charles Ronson. It's coming along, Liz. I'm positive about it. If those words can still mean anything, had my sleeves rolled up. Oh, if those words can still mean anything. Had my sleeves rolled up, negotiating with frozen zoos for their samples. So many species trapped in ghoulish hologram dioramas, suspended in what-ifs. More than 14,000 that went extinct between 2000 and 2043. We started mapping out primary succession, selecting the pioneer organisms for a balanced and sustainable biosphere. Microorganisms and insects, rabbits and hawks, foxes and wolves. Thousands more that will have to wait their turn until our new generation can be entrusted with the duty of restoring them. So they can return to a world that, this time, will understand the concept of conservation before it's too late. There's already been too many too lates. We lost a whole collection team during the swarm breakthrough in Myanmar. The samples we lost were, well, irreplaceable. But thanks to you, Liz, the circle of life will bend, not break. The Earth was a lifeless rock before, and someday it will be again, but not now. Not on our watch. More like Charles Bronson. Yeah, I really did think Zero Dawn was the rocket. I thought that the rocket was definitely involved with Zero Dawn. They were going to send stuff up.
The Alpha Registry master file.
Intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
How do you know what
With
corruption
this,
looks like,
I can restore
Aloy?
the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so
I think it's
naive?
what at this point, Aloy?
There will be
Come on.
no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.
Your face is too valuable. Was that him? Elis? Well,
Still alive. Good. I have a more suitable death in mind for you, child.